together. So, but the postcards and the door knockers and even the iCall sessions that we will be doing down the road, they're not just to get people into your open house. Obviously, that's what you want to do. But you have to think of the other side of that is that if someone sees that you're doing this to sell that house down the street, what are you going to do for them? So this is an opportunity to gain more listings as well. And listings is the name of the game. You've been hearing it forever. We need more listings. Listings is the name of the game. It's so much easier to sell a listing than it is to drive buyers around for 3 months. It's just better. Yes.
I have a question regarding I think, the QR codes and postcards. If someone calls in, emails, or and you get back to them, is that considered an agent-generated lead, or is that a company?
If you bought the postcards, the emails coming directly to you through LeadLink, that is your lead.
What about
you invested in your business?
Too, are yours, or are they?
Open houses, when we get the open house registries back, you're gonna pick who you want to keep as a client.
Okay.
These are the people that you have reached out to, these are people that you have followed up to, that you have building a rapport with. And then you give a list to Karen of anyone that you're not going to follow up with, or you haven't followed up with, or you just don't feel a connection, or whatever that might be. She will put them in incubation basically for future follow-up. After 30 days, we will go back and check all of the other people that you have on your list, and if they are now a 6-month out or a dead lead, or they're not somebody that you're continuously following up with and that you're building a rapport with, then we will incubate those leads.
But your immediate leads are yours, or not?
Yes.
Right.
Anything that goes
Yes.
into incubation then comes back at some point would
Right.
then be.
Gotcha.
And anyone in incubation may not necessarily come back to you.
Right.
So, go ahead.
What about, I'm sitting one of Audrey's open houses this weekend, so if a customer comes in and says, hey, you're doing a really great job with this open house, I want to list my house with you.
That's you. You're there.
Okay.
Okay, bye.
When you say it comes from the company lead, what percentage do they take from your commission? What?
You got a whole different system.
Okay. I want to make sure I'm not walking away with $50.
The compensation plan around
For teams?
apologies for everybody.
I'm sorry, what?
You never sent it to everybody. You sent it
No,
to me.
I gave it to you, so you were gonna present it today.
Oh, that's what we talked about. I was going to do today. I didn't remember what we were supposed to do. There we go.
Perfect lead-in.
I didn't print it. Oh, it's in here somewhere. Okay, we'll get to that in a second. All right, so we're going to stay on the open house topic for a minute. We'll get there. So these are the open houses for this weekend. This is a chart that we have that we're going to be having. We will have a whiteboard that looks like this, so it'll be up for everyone to see and walk by all the time. So, you know, when number of direct mail. So we'll be filling in for Howard and for Judith how many direct mail pieces they put in, and they'll be filling in how many door hangers were put on doors. And don't lie. We want to know how many direct calls were made, and then we want to know how many guests. So you'll see, I mean, Weicker does a lot of tracking. That's what they do. They just track. So they go by statistics and what works. So if it's not working, they're not going to continue to, recommend you do it. So this is, you will see that the more direct mail, the more door hangers, the more direct calls, the more guests.
The
Every
direct
time.
calls are to the people in the neighborhood saying, hey, you're gonna have some
Inviting
traffic
people to open
and
house.
stuff, right?
Mhm.
Okay.
I don't want to sidetrack you at all. I just want to know, is there a good, is there an app for that, for direct calling?
Is there an app for that?
Yeah, I mean, is there a good way to, how do you get these phone numbers?
You have to Google the app for that thing.
Anywho.com.
Anywho.com. We also, well,
I don't know if you just go to the local book, but you can't search local book by address.
that's why we're not doing an iCall session yet tonight, because Audrey and
That's
I
what I
aren't
mean.
ready for that. So we've been
Isn't there anything
They're
on Weicker
researching.
University that would
A
tell
lot of
them?
considerations with do not call and everything that
Right.
make it a little scary right now.
Which we have
till
access
we
to,
more-
do not call list,
Yeah.
but we have to figure that out still.
Okay,
So-
I just didn't know. I hear a lot about direct calls, so I just want to understand, am I missing a boat?
Not yet.
Okay.
We're not, we're still paddling.
Right. Well, I heard you say the iCalls, and I'm wondering who we're going to call. We're just going to flip that phone book open and
No,
start
I
calling?
have all the realtor.com leads, no.
Okay, gotcha.
No,
Yeah, so-
these are people honestly looking for information
Gotcha.
Right.
in real estate.
So we will get there. We're not there yet. So, and if we do it and it doesn't work, we're not gonna do it. We want to implement everything that, Weiker's giving us all these tools and all this information, and do this and do this and do this, and we're like, oh, like all of us are. We want to forth our absolute best effort to make this the most successful that we can. We don't want to half-ass it. Why bother if we would do that? So, but if we find that something isn't working well, if it doesn't work in our market, if it's not working in our area, then, you know, R&B and I aren't gonna say, you're still doing it. We're gonna do what works. So it's all about statistics, all about, you know, tracking things, and that's really what we're doing.
Gotcha.
So, I already talked about that. Local market update. So, it shows that this is from last week, so this is just within the last week. So it shows that there's 159 active listings, but I wanted to clarify that. It's actually 68 new listings within the last week. 11 went active O. 21 are back to active, so that's 21 contracts that fell through, or showings that came back. And then 58 price adjustments. That's a lot of 68 new listings and 58 price adjustments. So that all incorporates 159 of active listings. So active no showings, there were 7, 6 expired, but only 1 relisted. So that's 5 houses that are expired off the market that have not been relisted yet. Who wants to get that listing?
I do.
So you gotta start chasing them.
Me.
Go knock on the door, send them a letter. Way better to knock on the door than just send them a letter. Get there a lot faster.
Before anyone else.
Same thing with withdrawn and withdrawn listed. 15 withdrawn and only 8 relisted. So that's 7. So that's 12 houses out there that have come off the market within the last week that may very well still want to sell.
I will guarantee you my withdrawals mean they need to be killed. Don't follow them.
I was about to say.
I can promise you.
Why might you withdraw? I mean, obviously, there's obvious reasons.
They don't like their realtor. The
Okay.
house has been sitting there and it hasn't sold.
Okay.
You know, a lot of times people will say it's better to be the second realtor than the first, because the first one, you know, they hate now and they didn't sell their house. So you're the second one that comes in and go, well, you know, you probably priced a little bit too high. We should consider, you know, adjustment. Which their first realtor's probably been telling them the whole damn
Right.
time, but they didn't want to hear it from that person because they had to stick to their guns because it's an emotional thing. People, you know,
And
it's
gotta
all
be their fault, it can't be-
emotions.
it's gotta be the
So,
realtor's fault.
being the second one in, you have an opportunity to basically reiterate what the first one's probably already been telling them for the last 6 months.
With my listing in Milford, I honestly was willing, don't shoot me, but I asked them, didn't Steve ask you, you know, about a price reduction? Because quite frankly, I'm sick of being that realtor who they didn't listen to and someone else comes in for 20 grand less.
And
It's happened
steals
too
the
often.
cake,
So I would have said, go back to Steve. I honestly would have said, go back to Steve then, because I had proven to them the price. But when they told me that he had said, oh no, your house is worth $225 and it's almost like Waterside, I said, you know what, this is for me then, but it's so painful when that happens if you're the original listing agent. But people do it to you.
Right, and you may find you go on this listing appointment and they just you're telling them the price and they just still don't want to hear it and they just don't want to list with you. So, you know, you may not get that.
Walk away.
But, you know, how many people do you call before you actually get somebody that's ready to buy? So you're going to go on listing appointments and you're not going to get them. There's been plenty of people over the last 7 years, 8 years that I've gone on listing appointments and told them not to sell. But that's what you need to sell for, now's not the time, wait a couple years. Because unless you need to sell, you're not going to get that. So, and that may be the case for some, but I guarantee out of those 12 people that there's at least one listing you could get.
And Doug, I give you the challenge to beat Dick Bergen to it, because he has it down to a science.
Mhm.
He looks things up way ahead of time, sends out the
Right.
mail.
I send out
Ringing that
expireds.
bell.
Yeah,
They're
so I
watching.
was gonna say, the fact that if you're actually going to the door, you may just beat him out.
If you go
Absolutely.
knock on 12 doors in one day and you get one listing out of it,
Well,
and you put $3,000 to $5,000 in your pocket, was that worth a day of going and knocking on 12 doors? So,
Especially if you get one good listing, you get somebody who's
Right.
actually listening
And
to
you
what
might
you're
just
telling
get
them.
2.
even if you get a
Right.
crappy listing,
Or
is it
You might
for
get 12.
$1,500
Yeah.
to go knock on 12 doors in one day?
Yeah.
Exactly. So, we
That's
all want
motivating.
we all want the big commissions, but you know those little ones count too.
They all add up.
So yeah, we had 47 houses pending within last week. I know we have three of them. 47 houses pending last week. 38 went settled, we have 1. Yeah, that's the market, your market. You guys looking at the hot sheet every day?
Yes.
going backwards? I don't know how to work this thing. So we did talk about the St. Jude Tribute Program, and Audrey and I discussed that November would be a good month for us to focus on that. So more to come down the road when we get closer to November. Remember we talked about that with doing the
Yes.
donations? Okay.
Is it October that's the breast cancer awareness month or whatever?
Yes.
Just wondering.
I don't remember which way I'm supposed to go. That way. Okay. No, I'm going the wrong way. See, I went down, skipped around for the lead network and now I'm all. Okay. So I think I'm gonna kind of pass through, this is something that Margaret had, but I think we kind of covered a lot of it anyways about being proactive about making sure that you are explaining the process to your clients so you don't have transactions that fall through. So this is kind of what, ooh, look at that.
I like that.
So.
Can we have one that's falling in?
Yeah, right. Exactly.
With stacks of cash,
Right.
of course.
So this is just talking about different reasons that transactions can fall through, issues uncovered in the home inspection, financing issues, home appraising for different price, contract contingencies. All of those things you should be covering in the beginning. When you go on a Doris presentation, it's got this. So you should be covering all those things when you're talking to at your listing appointment. When you do your buyer's consultation, you've got this. So you should be covering all of those things from the beginning. So setting the expectations. So I'm kind of going to slip through a lot of this because we kind of talked about a lot of it already. What visual aid can you use in the conversation? There it is, buying and selling process chart. Be the preventer, preventing fall throughs one deal at a time. Okay. This is great.
That's cute.
Oh wait, there he goes. Decrease transaction fall through with these tips. So it just, again, just kind of goes through, making sure your buyer knows all the processes, using the buyer and selling chart, explaining everything, introducing them to your gold service partners. This says to attend all home inspections to ease your buyer's concerns. I know Audrey has a different opinion on that.
Can I hear
I
Audrey's
think that
opinion?
you should always go, as you're new in the business, this is my opinion, I'll let Audrey give hers. We don't agree on everything. I think that you, as a new agent, should definitely, absolutely, positively go to at least one inspection and stay there the whole time so that you understand what's happening so you can explain it to your client properly. I do not go to the home inspections and stay there the whole time. I show up at the end. And I would tell my clients, I'm going to try to get there towards the end of it, because the whole reason that I want to be there is because I want to hear from the inspector himself what the issue is, and so I can see it, so I can better negotiate and explain it when I'm A, calling a contractor to get an estimate if I need one, or B, explain it to the listing agent, like, hey, it's really not that big a deal, So that's why what I do, I don't always get there, but I try to get there towards the end of the inspection just so I can kind of get the summary. But I do think that if you've not been to a home inspection, you need to go attend one and stay there the whole time, and it's going to be an hour, 2 hours, but you need to know what they're doing. A septic inspection, you need to go see what they're doing so that you can explain it to your clients. And you can't explain something you don't know. So Audrey does not like to be there because she does not like the liability of being there.
Lots of liability, because then your client thinks you were there, and what do you mean it doesn't? And the challenge is they turn on you like in a heartbeat. It's just one more open area for people to jump in at you and turn things around. So instead, I prefer who I use for my inspections, and he does a detailed job, and I know I can always call him if I need additional explanations.
Right.
I also am not the one, I have a transaction coordinator, so I'm not the one working with the vendor, so his report has to be comprehensive so that Kim can book the repairs and understand it. So that's what I've done ever since I
Someone
started,
tried
because I had purchased enough homes myself that I had attended enough inspections. But you definitely need to see one, and especially on the septic side, in order to, all the parts of a septic system, you need to know those. And regrettably, the education doesn't even teach you parts of the house, and it's a critical part if you're going to do listings as well as buyers' inspections.
Yeah. So, I would never attend a home inspection for a buyer if the buyer is not going to be there. Absolutely not. But like I said, you need to know what's going on, and whether you attend, hop in at the end to see what it is. On a house that's 5 years old, you may not feel the need to. But on a house that's 55, you may think, let's just pop in at the end and just, hey Ed, give me a summary of what happened here. Otherwise, you're going to see this long list of, oh God. So it says practice using the buy and selling process chart, which I was gonna do, but I also don't wanna go too far over time here.
We probably have, what, 10 minutes of her just talking. So, right?
That's easy.
Oh, that's the same thing. So
This class is number 4 and it's finally okay, it's better.
Good.
Yeah, I almost didn't make it, but I was really glad that I made it to number 4. Just saying, it should be on expireds, I think.
So we want to find the compensation thing. That's what we're talking about. You guys are dying to know, huh? Something in writing. That's not it. It's tough. Hold on. Maybe I can find this. Okay, fine. Well, yeah, I'm 20 minutes over. That's why I skipped through all that last stuff.
Here's
You're gonna leave me.
a question regarding a transaction.
Yeah.
The HUD,
Uh-huh.
does that go in with USDA financing or no?
You're talking about the new one, August 1st?
Well, this one's the FHA. I'm sorry, the FHA.
Towels in there.
Here, just put the towels right here.
Oh,
Better
all
than
right.
the towels in there. I'm sorry.
That's good.
Thank you. What are you asking?
The FHA with a
The
offer.
FHA addendum?
Yeah,
No.
doesn't go in with a
With USDA?
yeah.
No.
Is there a USDA addendum?
No.
Okay. Well,
Okay. Alright, so
You keep trying to find a loophole.
first, we're going to go over the new Weichert Realtor Professional Standards. So when everyone started here, you should have signed a contract for our professional standards under first class properties, our ethics and business etiquette and all that fun stuff. I mean, it's pretty much, you know, all of that stays in place. We want to make sure that everybody maintains professionalism. But as far as how things are going to change compensation-wise and standard-wise, what is expected of you as a Weichert Realtor first class. Sales standards. To remain an active realtor, to remain active, a realtor must sell a minimum of 4 properties a year. So, you know, when Audrey and I talked about these things, there are a lot of recommendations from Weichert. Their recommendations were a lot stricter than what Audrey and I felt was appropriate for our existing agents, for agents coming in, for our market area, for who we are in Kent County. So, you know, we have some part-time agents that contribute sometimes more than the full-time agents have. So we certainly take into account everyone that we have as well as who we're looking to have in the company when we came up with these. So if you're not selling 4 properties in a year, it's going to be recommended that you go into the referral company. To retain the 70-30 split, a realtor must sell 8 or more properties a year.
So what is it if you don't?
Then you'll go down to 60-40, which is what any new agent's going to come in on at. Most offices, when you go in and you're a new agent, you start at 60-40. I started at 60-40 when I started with Century 21.
I have 60-40 and then the 35% from the lead network.
You're under,
No, I'm
Okay.
fine. I was just saying that I have a friend who just is getting ready to stop, or getting ready to be a realtor. And Harrington gave him a 60-40 split, only because he had sales.
they'll start at 50-50.
So I was like, wow.
Right.
Like,
Some
we were
places
kind of
start at
spoiled.
50-50. Yes, you get, we're very, everyone here is very spoiled.
I mean, seriously. I mean, that's just my opinion.
Well, it's true, and here's the thing, and you know, I've been with Audrey since 2007, and when I joined her, you know, when I joined her, she was actually still part of Keller Williams, and we have had to try to maintain competitive with our pay plan in order to have agents here. We have been what you would call an agent-centric company that really catering to keep people here. That's not a way to build a business. So